Breaking now at 6, Demolition Day. The blast that sent the century-old water tower tumbling and left some onlookers stunned.
I don't really know what to expect coming out here, but definitely not having things fly at me.
Plus, a crowded courtroom as a teen is accused in his friend's death.
This tragedy has affected our community tremendously.
Then, new signs of progress on the fire lines where some of the largest blazes in the Northwest stand right now. And later,
it's going to be fun, to watch these guys go execute.
The college football rankings putting new pressure on the Oregon Ducks.
What a moment. Breaking now at 6, video from all angles showing the iconic water tower atop Centennial Mills tumbling into the skeleton of the 116-year-old building. Crews on the ground and demolition experts say that controlled blast went exactly as planned. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanet.
And I'm David Moko. Remarkable video. There are, however, new concerns from neighbors about the debris and even some who say they have sustained damage. Let's get right to live team coverage. Devin Haskins tracking the human and community impact.
But we begin with Harley Coldiron on the remarkable way all of this unfolded. Harley.
Christine and David, we have some new images of some nearby shattered windows that we're going to share with you in just a moment. But this operation largely successful. It took weeks of planning, 4 expertly placed explosives, and 1 very loud bang. And now the 116-year-old water tower is gone.
Wow. I don't need 2-3 words. That was wow. That was amazing. What something to experience.
Portland Fire saying shortly after the explosion, mission successful. Starting early and working hundreds of feet in the air, crews with a Eugene-based contractor expertly placed 4 explosives on all 4 corners of the water tower. The 2 explosives closest to the water went off just slightly before the 2 ones in the back. This was to try and avoid it tipping back and crushing the back wall.
All the glass, there wasn't much we could do. You can't move either building. You have to do the detonated charges.
KGW obtaining this image of a partially shattered window on the 12th floor of a nearby condo building. Another image we've obtained shows more partially shattered windows and chunks of glass across their condo. We're told nobody was hurt, and it doesn't appear to be widespread, though we are working to learn more.
Everything worked out as they had designed. Explosive charges went off as they designed. The water tower went straight down into the structure.
The building falling perfectly was paramount for Portland Fire, who are still in custody of the building after canines alerted police there may be human remains inside the rubble. The contractor hoping to get the building to half its size in 2 weeks.
So as the walls get dropped down to when it's safe to enter, then we'll be able to enter and begin to do a forensic evaluation of that particular site.
Now, when those walls do start coming down, not only will Portland Fire be able to conduct its investigation, but also the road in front of the building should open along with Fields Park. Now, to get down the rest of these walls, because this is likely the only explosion needed, they're going to use what's called a high-reach excavator to bring down the rest of this building. Lots of moving parts and pieces, but for the first time in a century, that water tower is down. Christine, David.
Call it the end of an era and an historic day for Portland. Harley Coldiron along Northwest NATO. Thanks, Harley.
Our team coverage continues this evening with Devin Haskins. And Devin, I understand some of the debris made it all the way to where you're standing right now.
Yeah, and we're just over 300 feet what they deem to be the safe zone outside the fences that surround Fields Park. I want to direct you down here. This little hole right here, you can see the damage inside the bench. That's from part of the debris from that explosion. And just about a block away, one of the businesses said that she also had damage to her business as after the explosion rocked a few items off the shelves.
It was the place to be in the heart of the Pearl District. An impending detonation became quite the spectacle.
Curiosity, and hopefully it's not going to be too dangerous for the neighborhood.
Well before noon, the crowd started to gather, chairs were brought out, lunch was eaten.
You don't really see explosions in your city every day.
Neighbors, friends of neighbors, and just anyone walking by stopping to see it before it goes.
To take a water tower down first, I wasn't quite sure how this whole thing was going to work. And it's interesting.
Then the big boom.
That was louder than I ever expected. It was huge.
And the shock it sent hundreds of feet away.
That was terrifying. Oh my God. That was a little overloaded. I think they overdid it.
And while some were taken aback by the blast alone, others grazed by debris that flew farther than they expected.
And I didn't really know what to expect because I've never seen anything like that. And so then, the sirens go off and the timer goes off and everybody's like, what? It blows up and all of a sudden this projectile rock comes flying this way.
Keisha Weatherby was sitting on this bench. That hole in the bench, a projectile from the blast made it.
I'm okay. I guess it's a little shocking. I don't know. I don't really know what to expect coming out here, but definitely not having things fly at me.
And just down the street at Crystal DeLulu,
it actually blew up our Rolex watch display. We have back here, it's from the 1920s.
Owner Amber Lee lost several items when the blast went off.
This one is really old. This used to be twice the size of this one. I can't believe this is broken.
Take a look at this security video from inside her stores. Things were knocked off the wall and shattered when the blast occurred.
I really didn't think that anything of this would pop. It was 100% just inside. It was magnified. She ran out. I ran out. The dog ran out. It was crazy. It was really, really different.
She's not exactly sure how much damage was caused from the those items falling off the shelves and shattering. She is upset saying that the city could have done more to warn the businesses or the people in this area about what damage or what issues may have been caused from that explosion. Back to you.
Yeah, first for the neighborhood and the city, and hopefully a last as well. That's Devin Haskins in Northwest. Thanks, Devin. If you want to learn more about the long history of Centennial Mills, 116 years of it, including multiple fires, so you want to see more video and angles of the water tower demolition, just check out our coverage at KGW.com or on the KGW mobile app.
In your headlines, there is an Amber Alert out for a baby who was taken Sunday morning in Vancouver. Washington State Patrol says Raul Martinez took his 7-month-old son, Marcelo Martinez, without permission and also assaulted the baby and another person. That was around 5 or 6 o'clock yesterday morning. Initially, deputies said the pair could be in a late 90s red Jeep Grand Cherokee, but in the latest alert from State Patrol, that description was not included. But if you think you've seen little Marcelo or Raul Martinez, call 911 right away.
The trial for the man accused of murdering a newlywed nurse from Beaverton has now been delayed again until next September. Prosecutors say Bryce Schubert killed his neighbor, 32-year-old Melissa Jubain, nearly 2 years ago. The trial had already been delayed at least twice. This time it is because Schubert's new attorneys have a conflicting trial. Schubert's pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and to abuse of a corpse.
To new video now as Clackamas County deputies search for several people accused of threatening 2 15-year-olds and stealing one of their e-bikes. Take a look. This all happened almost a month ago, just before 9 p.m. along Southeast 62nd and Fern. The sheriff's office says the boys were riding near Hazeltine Park when that sedan pulled up and someone threatened to shoot the teens. The sedan followed one of the teens, apparently cornering him in a cul-de-sac. He gave up his e-bike valued at $4,000. Now, if you recognize any of the people on your screen, give the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office a call. Matt?
All right, Christine, thank you very much. It was a really good day here in the Northwest. We had a lot of sunshine, morning clouds, but now thunderstorms are developing up in Northeast Oregon. Not a lot, and they're weakening pretty quickly, but of course, anytime we get lightning, we're going to track that quite closely. There's been a few strikes, not a ton, which is good to see, and these storms should wind down now that the sun is getting closer to the horizon. Now, over in the Dalles, scattered clouds, yes, not too smoky there, 86 degrees, and the wind isn't bad, but it will be coming up tomorrow. For that reason, there's a red flag warning for fire weather conditions beginning at noon tomorrow from Hood River County through Wasco County, through the Columbia Basin, parts of southeast Washington, and extending down into northern Jefferson County as well, because of that combination of the wind coming up and lower humidity as we get a weak weather system moving inland to our north. Now, this is the view east from our sky cam at Timberline Lodge in the Mount Hood National Forest, and you can see the smoke layer there from the grasshopper fire, but it's well east of the mountain, so that's good to see. Just barely saw the tip of Mount Jefferson sticking up above that. 66 degrees at 6,000 feet, so nice and comfortable up there. Here's the smoke forecast, and you can see it's all about the grasshopper fire here in Oregon. that's winding down. A couple of smaller fires in Northeast Oregon, but for Northwest Oregon and the coast, it's going to be very good air quality. And only Washington and Oregon have the bad air quality because of wildfire smoke right now. Tomorrow will be a lot like today. Clouds in the morning, turning sunny in the afternoon, about 84. But there is a potential change at the end of the week. We might actually get some August rain, which has been a rare commodity, of course, guys.
All right, that's intriguing. Thanks, Matt.
A teenager accused in a Southwest Washington shooting this weekend that left one of his friends dead appeared in court this afternoon.
Let's bring in Joe Ranieri live, the Clark County Courthouse, with that story. Joe?
Hey, good evening to you guys. Well, the surprising thing that happened in court earlier this afternoon is the suspect, James Gill, who's facing second-degree manslaughter charges, was granted an intense supervised release by the judge. We also learned the name of the victim earlier today. That was 18-year-old Trent Richardson, a recent graduate of Battleground High School who played on the football team. The courtroom was packed with family and friends of both Gill and Richardson. Clark County deputies say the shooting happened early Saturday morning at Hawkinson Meadows Community Park. According to court documents, Gill told deputies that Richardson had handed a gun to him. Then Gill says he was bumped and the gun fired, killing Richardson.
This tragedy has affected our community tremendously. I think that it's like a wave rolling out where we can all kind of feel it. I know specifically this football team and these coaches are really grieving.
There was also staff from the high school here in court earlier today. And along with that supervised release I just told you about, Gill will be allowed to go to and from King County to attend college next month. David and Christine, back to you.
Just tragic. Joe Ranieri reporting live at the Clark County Courthouse. Thank you, Joe.